Structured learning is what leads to the end goal.
Ma'am, will you be the teacher for my son next year also?
They need that empathy, they need that connect, they need that warmth and that social connect that they get from schools is all still there.
When you make a difference, when they remember, is what makes teaching a wonderful job. Now you click, there is a sea of information all around.
AI may shape the future of learning, but teacher always shape the future of lives.
Welcome to another episode of Learning Curve. We are joined today by three inspiring educators who bring years of experience and unique perspectives on teaching and learning, and now are the brains behind the AI platform that is transforming student learning. Anuradha ma'am, Padma ma'am, and Gayatri ma'am. And this is Sandhya, host for the day with 12 years of experience in education myself.
So welcome to the today's conversation. The conversation is all about chalkboards to AI, how the classroom is evolving and how teachers are helping and embracing the classrooms in terms of using technology and how they are shaping AI in bringing that to the classrooms. So looking back, I would would like to ask a question. Being teaching as your profession, what is the first memory which you would like to memorize and which brings smile to your face?
For me, basically, I was the teacher in the school where I studied. So I became the parallel teacher for my teachers. That's very interesting for me. And when I started gaining experience, parents used to come and ask me, "Ma'am, will you be the teacher for my son next year also?" So that was so happy moment for me. Um,
Actually, this incident happened when I just joined Oak Ridge. I joined as a primary teacher in IB, teaching IB. So in IB, what happens is we go by themes. 6 weeks, one theme. And once the theme completes, then it goes, the entire chart, the entire work goes outside the class. Okay, and then we start off with a new theme. So that time we just had an authorization and we were supposed to, the evaluators have come to school for the evaluation. So, I mean, why, they are younger kids, right? So the outside boards were little ripped off, charts were there. So we worked on it and we have redone the boards a little. So that time what happened, this evaluators were going around. We taught them so well, our kids, that how to talk, how to greet them while walking in the corridors when they come across the evaluators and all that. So finally what happened, one day they were just crossing the corridors. They visited all the classes except for our floor, that is grade 6th. We were the final grades of PYB. So while they were crossing the corridor, one of the kid who went to washroom, he was coming back to the class and he said, "Why don't you visit our class? We worked very hard on boards." That time he laughed and he said, "That's why I'm not visiting your class. I can see that you work very hard on your outside boards." That brings, I mean, recently also when we all met, we had a hearty laugh thinking about how those innocent kids revealed the entire thing that we worked before the visit. So that's one thing that brings, always whenever I think about it, that innocence brings smile on my face.
Yeah, teaching for me is something which started as a choice when I joined the Regional College of Education. So it started with that journey, and my first job was as a lecturer. I started with grade 12 right away, and then I shifted to different places. And it's, I think, over a period of 5 years, then I moved to Hyderabad. And what I see is one day when I was in one of the marketplace, there were a group of boys who were sitting in the same restaurant as I was sitting and staring at me. They kept looking at me back and then. Initially, like, I felt uncomfortable. But then after some time, I found that one of the boy got up and started walking towards me. And then I felt a sort of, unease. What is it that makes them to... so then he says, "Gayatri ma'am, is that you?" So I was surprised. And then when I started talking, one of them had joined JNTU, finished, and one was in Osmania as a doctor. And then they said that then and now. There is a huge change in you. You are not able to recognize me, but we are recognizing you. So that's something like they remember is what is the give back is what they say, isn't it? It's a pleasure. And then he ultimately says, please come and meet me at Osmania Medical College. Then he says, ma'am, not as a patient. So these are the things. When you make a difference, when they remember, is what makes teaching a wonderful job.
Good. But all three of you, I could see that you have used the word teaching a lot. So I would like to understand, what does that word teaching meant to you back then, and what does it mean today?
True. I mean, there is lot of change, Sandhya, from the time where we actually started teaching. At least when I started teaching, it was more of that time we were freshers from the college and just did our B.Ed. So it was all about completing the syllabus that was given to you and then following strictly the B.Ed format that we have learned, and then the steps that we have learned in our B.Ed college. That was our main focus. But now the shift is so much that we look at the class composition and how well student can connect with you, what all I should do for the student to understand without any learning gap. So, I mean, we see a sea of change from the time we have joined as freshers to the level that we have reached now. Everything has changed. The schools have changed, students have changed, parents have changed, expectations have changed, and even we have also learned through our journey so much that now we look at the class as a different. Every class is a dynamic composition, and how complicated the topic that we are taking up that day. So the entire planning goes around that.
I agree with this, Anuradha. Basically, when we started teaching, it was teacher-centric. Teacher used to decide everything, and students were just passive listeners or learners. But we could see the journey clearly from teacher-centric to student-centric. Yeah. So where we focused on each and every individual students, catering to their needs and planning the lessons. But now I feel nowadays we are focusing more on developing independent learners, where students take the responsibility of their own learning.
Yeah, I think it has undergone a tremendous change. Teaching was more of, the checklist where you tick, okay, I planned, yes, I did assessments, worksheets, this. And of course, there was a connect with students. But there is a shift in the role completely of teaching. Teaching earlier was more of, transmitting the knowledge which was not there at the click, the way now it is. Now you click, there is a sea of information all around. So it's that shift from what as we see teaching teacher as a transmitter of knowledge to a guide, probably a coach who just opens a window and says, go have a look, explore the world. It's that shift which we find.
So the shift, what we can talk about is from chalkboards to AI, right?
True.
So, but I would like to more curious to ask, have students really changed, or is it the world around the students have changed?
Basically, the students are also becoming very smart. Okay, their intelligence is very high nowadays, basically. And they can analyze themselves. If you just tell them, okay, learn trigonometry, they will question us, why are you teaching trigonometry? What is the purpose? So purpose, they want to know the purpose of each and everything they are doing in the classroom.
Exactly.
Yes.
I feel the students have not changed much. That is, their needs have not changed. That is, they need that empathy, they need that connect, they need that warmth, and that social connect that they get from schools is all still there. Only thing is the information, as Padma said, information is so much that the focus shifted from knowledge to their needs are different, but their innocence and their needs remain the same. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think that's a point. What I see is students then also wanted to learn. Now also schools are there to, pass on the learning. Probably the context has changed. That's it. Yeah. that time the context was okay, the teacher is epitome of knowledge. Whereas now it's click, internet, website, Google, this, that, ChatGPT, AI, you have the information. So that's a difference which I made.
So that in that case, I would say that every generation, the teacher has to adapt to new tools, right?
Yeah.
So if I have to ask you, like, which is that tool which you have learned for the first time and how did it impact in your teaching methodology?
Basically, for us, the management started asking us to use PowerPoint presentation because audio-visual learning will happen. Okay, so for us, it was so difficult to create the PowerPoint presentation. Sometimes the slide will go here, there, but now accordingly, we can easily use the AI tools to generate the PowerPoint presentation for the entire chapter in a click.
Yeah. So I feel the same. I mean, I never felt that anything that came in my way was disruptive. But still, I can see that slowly and gradually the changes have come. When I started my career in Aurobindo International School, that time it was just, as I said, take my resources, that is, if it's an English class, Wren and Martin, and then if it's a social class, carry a map to the class and teach them. That was the base. But later, when I moved to Neeraj Public School, it's like they started off with first they did the audio, I mean, our validation, audio validation, how loud you are and what is your way of pronunciation, all that. And we thought, okay, what is this? Why they are testing our audio when we are in the class? We are supposed to be loud. So that was the first thing, but we have adapted. Later, one class was allocated for audiovisual classes. A smart board was there, and we used to put it in register, take the students there. So we took that also, but never one step after that. Slowly, we got introduced to the technology, but never we felt that okay, this is alarming or this is disruptive. This is going to change my way of teaching, or do I have to adapt? I mean, we kept taking every step as it came. So I never felt any technology as it was only adding on to and easing out my way of teaching. That's what I felt.
Yeah, yes. What I see is technology brought in many things, and to my mind, COVID is one situation which I would take as an example. If you remember, the workforce which really equipped itself fast and furious, kind of, that's teachers. Teachers somehow with desktops, laptops over the books and adjusting here and there, understanding the features of Zoom or Google. It was quite quick, I would say. And that's a big shift from physical teaching to online teaching. So I don't think teachers ever had this issue of it was only a fear of what like more additional work of both physical as well as online thing.
True.
That's it. Otherwise, teachers were way ahead. I think it's my belief.
Definitely, ma'am. AI is actually evolving, not only in other sectors, also in education. We are seeing how it is impacting the students. It is making the students, developing the faster critical thinking skill also. Right? But we are also seeing that some teachers or some people have this fear of that AI might replace the teachers. But here I'm seeing that convincing from you all that you believe in AI is empowering the teachers. But I have a question like, what's convinced you that AI can, actually serve teachers and students? How AI can actually serve teachers and students?
Basically, for any teacher, they have to refer a lot of documents, say maybe curriculum documents. Sometimes they may not get time to go through the entire document. If you give that document to AI and get the summary, it is very easy. Not only that, I used to struggle in the classroom with the students who are of different intelligence level or abilities. So it was very difficult task for me to plan different activities for them or different levels of worksheet. But with AI, it is very easy to actually develop this worksheet. Also, we can means time management. It also helps to manage the time effectively. Instead of sitting and thinking or browsing about different activities, we can use AI and generate the tasks or the worksheets, and we spend time, give more attention to the students. To further, we have to look into the personal, social, emotional development of the students, so their teachers get more time.
Yeah, it is same as Padma said. Every teacher has four things to do. That is one, planning, teaching basically, and recording and reporting. So now with AI, it is so easy to get rid of recording and reporting. It is taken care digitally. Yes, and the more you plan, you will do better in class, and the results are really obviously good. And planning and teaching also, AI is of lot of help. That's why I feel that it is really handy if you can really quickly pick up the technology, start using it. Especially this recording and reporting, as teachers, both of them also agree with me. Most of our time used to go in recording and reporting. I mean, parents to parents, all the management, everybody. So it is doing triple time, four times, five times, same thing, and then reporting to different people with the different data. So all this can be minimized, and we can focus on teaching and planning.
I would ask one more question, because since you said that way back you had a lot of work in terms of recording and report, yeah. But if you had AI during that point of time, what is that one problem which you would like to solve?
Yeah. See, same thing. I mean, in Neeraj, when I was working 8th to 10th, all they had a register called master register, where the final marks, even the half yearly and the final, and Neeraj is a IGCSE school. So we had two papers. I was teaching English and social that time. So English 2 papers and social 3 classes. So 5 grades, final marks for all the students. I have to sit and enter in the master register every 6 months once. That was a Herculean task for me. The same with the planning. Yeah, planning and even the recording, as I said. That's why that is with me all the time. And reporting to so many parents, and then report cards, and to the management, what happened to, why there are this many failures in the class, and analyzing why part. So all that AI can help me now. So, and even in teaching also, there were difficult concepts like a climate chapter, and the many chapters where I felt that drawing on board and teaching was becoming difficult for me, because those difficult concepts, it is very difficult for student to visualize how the westerlies come, how the monsoon shift, all that. It's very difficult to explain by drawing on the board. So I always wish there was some video where I can. That's why when I said smart boards have come in, we have adapted to it very well, because it's easy for them, for us to show it on that and explain it to kids. Then their understanding is at a different level. Then I draw. I may be good at drawing. I may not be good at drawing. So to draw and explain is really difficult for the child. For a teacher, it is a challenging task.
So, then your thoughts on it? Yeah, on the same grounds, I would say this one thing. As a teacher, I used to find the corrections compass. Correction is one part of it. The second part is the time constraint. That within one day you have to solve it, and then put on all those marks, upload them, and things like that. That was something which used to be a pain, and that has been solved beautifully by AI. Quickly, of course, to have that connect with the students, what they have written and things like that, the summary or the overall feedback which it gives. Quickly, if today's teachers have a look, then it solves it.
I still remember the day, as Gayatri said, we used to do all objective at a time, so that we remember the answer.
Yes.
All the papers, all the students are objective at a time, mark it, and then go for 3 marks. That's how we used to do it.
You won't believe I would even negotiate with the principal, telling that I'll take extra 5, 6 classes if you want. Give this curriculum to somebody else.
Basically, one more thing which I want to tell is teaching one concept in different ways. Okay, so multiple intelligence basically. So suppose we are talking about friction. So how it can be integrated with language, math, or other subjects. So we used to take lot of time to plan, but now with AI it is very easy. So that is one plus point I feel that we were missing when we were working as teachers, and now as part of school when we plan the project, it is becoming more easy for us.
But do you think that AI, will free teachers to be more human, or teachers will be worried that they will lose the human touch?
Actually, they will get more time to address to the students and also to the parents, and sometimes it may be the management team. So we get at least we will get more time so that we look into each and every student's performance, and performance is not academic performance, it is all round development of the student.
I think, right. The shift is in the extra time which teachers get in the emotional, social anchoring, which or the support which teachers can give to the students. So, like as and when those activities or whether it is experiential or the lesson plan activities are being done, it's a closer look to the student to understand whether he's following it or not, or what is the pain on his face, whether, because that's something with the brightness a child gets when he's happy understanding, or say he didn't understand, there is a scornful face. So these things are the ones which a teacher can observe. AI can also do it. Of course, emotions are being tracked. Maybe in future it comes, but not to that degree as a personal person can do it. That warmth, that love, that part of encouragement. It, because you never know when what you do to the student leads into something which is impactful and inspiring. So
Also,
that
like it is easy to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the students. So that becomes easy.
And teachers can also speak the facts with the data. Actually, if I'm reporting to a parent, I don't just say that your son did very well, but there's a proof in front of me that he has moved from 5 to 10. Absolute. That the data I can show and confidently say that yes, your child has really done well from the time he started. So that confidence come only when you have data, right? I mean, if not, it becomes only perspective. Right. Yeah. So whether he has not performed or she has not performed or performed better, that I can talk confidently with the data. That comes with the help of AI.
and to add that, now students cannot bluff anymore. Yeah. I had done the work, I submitted, you did not correct, and things like that. It's so visible with the data, right? So that's something. Right.
And actually, AI suggests you the different forms, different other resources also. If you just give the proper prompt, it is alternative resources which can be used, and also we can engage the gifted students.
Yeah.
I used to have students in my class who were very gifted and disruptive in the class. Okay, so you have to engage them effectively. So, and if you are not ready with the resources, it becomes very difficult to do the teaching in the class.
On this, I remember, yeah, I would like to share. I still remember the name of the child, of course, I'll not mention now. It was in grade 8. He had moved to at the IB school where I work from US, and he had this adjustment issues with the Indian context and atmosphere. And he was a hyper active and very high IQ child. So he was so disturbed because he would say, "What, this also you don't know? You people, you guys don't know this?" Things like that. So I had to completely take whatever I taught, whether it is physics, numericals, or chemistry, formula, everything I used to take one step ahead. Separately, a worksheet only for him. Only for him. And it used to be time consuming. Or otherwise, I would ask, what is the interest of your reading habit? So even if it is sometimes like when I didn't have time, I would pick out that book which he's interested in, so that I give a task and say, you complete this, then I'll give you this incentive of reading the book. So he would quickly finish that, sit in a corner and be in his own world reading the book. So, but all these are time consuming, isn't it? Which is not anymore with AI. That's it.
Yes, but thank you for sharing all your insights about the AI, because AI is not, since it's evolving, and we're also seeing like how it is helping the teachers in the classroom in today's world, not in terms of creating the lesson plans, but also understanding the insights about the students in terms of their subject level performance also. Yeah, correct. But now, since you're all are associated with course code, right? You are all using AI, but you're also shaping the course code. So I would like to ask, like, what is that one thing which you have done and for which you are proud of doing it with CourseGrid?
I really feel honored that work with you to figure out the learning journey for the student.
Thank you, ma'am.
That is really, amazing. How we, from scratch, we really had figured out the learning journey for the student. Thank you. Yes.
So for me, it's basically starting with Miss Gayatri. We both worked together.
Inception.
Yeah, inception, right from inception. So we were working on the creating the engagement tips for the students and parents and teachers. It was a difficult task for all of us because when human intervention was there,
Yeah.
so lot of grammatical issues in the content development or the sentence structure, whole lot of things we used to sit and check. But the remarkable change is use of AI. So not only tips, later on we started working, we both collaboratively worked on creating the lesson plans, and then we moved into the question bank. Question bank is like a ocean, and at a click the teachers can generate the assessment papers, whole lot of things they can do. Yeah.
Yeah, as Padma said, it was an inception with NP sir. And we would discuss at length. And that time, ChatGPT was not there. 22, yeah, right? Yes, 22. It was later. And so it was a physical work which we started off. But then in between, it's a disruption. It's a live one which we faced. And then we changed the whole model, you know. Then sir would say, this will not work. We'll scrap this out and we'll change that. So it was like evolving as this AI came into picture with so many tools, starting with ChatGPT and the learning journey which we kept drawing on paper. I remember drawing on a paper with only few things, and then like things added on with this basket, this all content cells and things. So that's an evolving thing which we feel contributed to this. And one best thing about working in co school, what I find is it is designed over what we refer as coherence. Sort of what I believe is like it is the design is with an end goal, and the end goal is to have those learning gaps completely plugged for the students, and that too in a beautiful way, joyful learning. So with that end goal, this designing of core school has been done in certain components, like right from when you start with the standardization, instruction, or you talk about the lesson plans, activities, and then ultimately the assessment. So all these components, you know, like they're all interconnected. They're coherent with each other. That's one thing. Now, this coherence is not just at horizontal level, but also vertically. That means at grade level, students are in line, in tune with everything, the end goal, because students also know, and ultimately I need to learn this. This is my learning goal.
Yes.
Right? That learning progression is there vertically too, because from grade one, whichever grade is, they go up, right? That spiral progression is also there. So that coherence, which is completely, holding it cohesively, is the beauty of core school. Otherwise, because in school, children need structure. Then the structured learning is what leads to the end goal. There is no structured learning, fragmented learning is so difficult otherwise. Once they go out of school, of course, the way we have modules in different platforms, they can learn because by then they are matured. So that's the beautiful aspect which I feel we are contributing.
I feel it is very beautiful because it is planned and developed by teachers for teachers.
Correct.
Yeah, and for students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anuradha ma'am, Padma ma'am, and Gayatri ma'am, for sharing your experiences and wisdom today for this important conversation. We have seen how technology changes, but the role of teacher remains constant. AI is here to support, but the heart of education will always come from the classroom. And let's remember this, AI may shape the future of learning, but teacher always shape the future of lives. Thank you.